Hello, hello. Today I'm going to talk about the topic of the Great Resignation. Sorry, I'm laughing and some might not find it funny. So anyway, in the professional world, in some industries, they've been talking about the supposed Great Resignation. I would probably call it more of a Great Reshuffling. And, I'll talk a little bit more about that. And, since supposedly 2020, some people have experienced change in their work and some not. Obviously this vlog is focusing on the supposed modernity world, the modern supposedly modern westernized world. I can't speak for all cultures and all nations and all people, but I know that this topic's been coming up a bit, and I do work in a reasonably professional industry, outside of the Reiki, the sound healing, the events that I work at, all these other beautiful things that I love doing. So a lot of what I do during the week is I'm in a professional industry, and it's an interesting place of blending worlds, as I like to call it, together, and seeing how bridges can be built between those. And there's a lot of wisdoms to be shared from those worlds, between the worlds, should I say. And anyway, so with some of these changes that people have been experiencing, especially within their supposed work life, some have been quite beneficial for some, but not all. Again, it depends on the industry in which you work in. It also depends on your experience that you have there. And, someone who's been in an industry for a year may experience that reality quite differently than maybe someone who's been in it for 20 years. And I guess a lot of that comes down to supposedly more opportunities are presented to themselves within an industry if you've been in there, right? Supposedly, longer than others. Not always the case, but that's how a lot of people perceive things in that way anyway. So, and obviously one of the great things about the people that have experienced changes in their work, or even experienced changes in their life, this is obviously not going to apply to everyone, but the fact that they were given more space, for some people they were actually given more space to be able to just allow themselves to be in their experience of life. That the less of the busyness, the business is the busyness, right? The human doing instead of the human being. And in doing so, it then allowed people to really assess where they are, who they are, what they're doing, where they want to go. And it also meant that it was a lot harder for them to run away from their own internal environment, what actually is going on in the internal environment. Again, I cannot speak for all, because there was still a lot of services available to people to try and disassociate from their reality if they chose to, and no judgment to that. And obviously with that, it meant that some people started to actually realise or feel like they had to address, maybe they had a sense of dissatisfaction with the hours that they worked, the team that they worked, the location in which they worked, how they worked, and all of that sort of stuff. When maybe they weren't given the opportunity beforehand to do that. And, again, like I said, I can't speak for all industries. Some industries have just, it's been so fast and so much going on that there's been no space, no time for people to slow down. Or, there's been more pressure for them to continue to serve and to serve more, And some people have had to leave where they work, or who they work for, because there could have been certain rules then imposed upon the workplace that didn't align with their ethics. There's those stories as well, which has helped people close doors that maybe they wanted to close or maybe they didn't want to close. And I guess where I'm going with this is that I have faith with what's happened like in my industry, it was very much like you kind of had to go into the office every day and you got to do this, this and this. And for some people, it then actually gave them the flexibility. I worked a lot. I worked in the office pretty much all the time. There was only 1 or 2 weeks in total where I actually worked from my home. But the place I work at, there's very little people that work there. We're a bunch of square pegs that don't fit in round holes. So, it's actually a really nice place to work considering the industry that I do work in. So, I like going into the office. Do I ponder on the idea of being able to work from home, being able to work from wherever? Yeah, I do, because that's something in which I see will help facilitate certain things that maybe I want to do later in life. Especially if I want to sort of get more like off-grid, live in a tiny home, live away from the city and all of that sort of stuff. It won't matter where I live as to whether I can still provide the services that I provide. I guess that's the kind of supposed benefit of the internet, right? And then that way I can, spend more time connected with the land and invest more of my energy into, helping with that where I'm living. Anyway, that's besides the point of this vlog. Yeah, so as I was saying, I have faith that many of the people that have experienced these changes will also hopefully help assist the organisations and the industries in which they work in to also be able to perceive things differently, be more flexible in what that is that they can provide. But also, those organisations that haven't really had certain, maybe they've said that they've got, visions and values and, it's all over their website and they promote it, but if they haven't actually embodied and walked what it is that they are envisioning, they've probably had a little bit of a shake-up in regards to like, oh, it's really hard to get good people, or my staff turnover's really, gotten higher, or all sorts of other things. And so I'm hoping that will mean that they actually embody more of what their values and their visions are, and not just about people, but, about the environment, about everything else, and how their organisation has a part to play in the community, the physical, like the direct physical environment in which they reside in, but also the environments in which their products and services go out to as well. So yeah, I have faith that it's actually going to help realign potential places in a better direction. Of course, there's going to be that's not always going to be the case, and so I basically see the Great Resignation or the Great Reshuffle as quite an expansive thing. Of course, there's potentially going to be some sort of constriction that people experience around that. Some people don't like working from home. Some people really struggle being alone. Some people, have got kids and they don't actually really like living with their kids all the time. I shouldn't really say that, but that's a video for another day, and I don't mean to offend anyone that I've said that. Okay, I think it might be a good time just to finish this up here. You're welcome to leave any comments or questions in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next vlog.